Welcome back inside the MMA War Room alongside my co-hosts Sam Corcoran and Srikar Rajendran. I'm Chris Shroyer. And guys, we're going to start with a little bit of breaking news after, a very solid fight night in Abu Dhabi. The broadcast team announced that the 319 co-main event will be Aaron Pico, but he will not be taking on Movsar Evloev. He will instead be taking on undefeated prospect Lerone Murphy. Guys, personally, when I heard that, I thought it was a banger. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think you can even consider Lerone Murphy a prospect anymore. This guy's a future title contender right now.
Definitely.
Number six in the bantamweight division, going up against Aaron Pico. I know it's a step down for Pico, but I like this fight a lot. This is one of the more hyped up fighters coming from another promotion versus an undefeated fighter. It's not a title eliminator, unlike I think the Evloev Pico is kind of meant to be a title eliminator. This is not, but I think you win this fight and you're one away. It depends on what they do with Movsar Evloev, who should and I was talking about this with Srikar before. He should get the next title shot, but you can't have that inconsistency, man. So he might need to keep proving it. That's the one thing. That's what they did with Khamzat Chimaev. He proved that he can be consistent. Now he's getting the title shot. So we'll see what they do with Movsar Evloev, but nonetheless, the Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico, this is a fantastic fight. I believe this is a 3-rounder. Is that correct?
Yes. I've not heard that it's a 5-rounder.
Okay, so this is we'll assume that it's a 3-round fight, and the winner is going to get a title eliminator after this.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of this fight. I really like it, especially as a pay-per-view co-main, because of what it could do for either fighter with a victory. Sam kind of touched on it a little bit, but Pico, if he comes away with the win here, obviously there's that stigma against guys from outside promotions getting this big of a push early. But if Pico wins this is a massive statement. And for my money, I think Pico is going to do a lot better than previous, outside promotion guys have done. Like, I think he is going to put on a better debut than Pitbull. I think he's going to put on a better debut than Patchy Mix. Like, I think Pico is going to come in there and throw. Like, he is going to go crazy. So I'm really excited to see Aaron Pico in the UFC octagon. And then for Lerone Murphy, this is a massive stage for him. He has been waiting to get that statement win on a big stage. He did fight in an Apex main event against Josh Emmett, won that. Before that, UFC 308. He was on the main card. I think he was the fourth fight down against Dan Ige. He won that as well. If you want a really good Lerone Murphy fight to watch, for those of you out there who may not know him, watch his fight against Edson Barboza. That is an absolute banger. But Lerone Murphy, he has been searching for that massive statement win, and this could be it. If he beats Pico in the UFC 319 co-main event, big things could be in store for him. So for whoever comes out the victor here, it's going to be a lot of attention. It's going to be a lot of eyes on you, and I think it's a really exciting prospect. So contrary to popular belief, I am also a big fan of this as a pay-per-view co-main, and I think it's deservedly so in that spot. So really excited.
I completely agree. And I think the winner of this, there's a perfect match after this. They take on the winner of John Silva and Diego Lopez. That's your title eliminator right there. Again, depends on what they do with Evloev. Volkanovski needs a title shot. Maybe they put the winner of Lopez and John Silva up, but that's just what I have right now, assuming that Evloev gets the next title shot, who I believe he is the most deserving title contender. If Volkanovski wants to fight right now, just depends on that Evloev injury and if the UFC thinks that he's ready, despite the inconsistency, to be up in that position.
100%. And Sam, just a little bit back to what you said about Lerone being a prospect. He's really, not being a prospect. He's really trending out of that territory, especially in his past 4 fights. Just the people he's beaten: Edson Barboza, Ige, Josh Emmett, and even Josh Kulabau. But still, definitely very good veterans within the.
What about my guy Makwan Amirkhani, bro?
Oh yeah, him too. We'll put respect on everyone's name, but yeah, sure. He's really trending out of that territory, and I think this fight is the fight that will really put him or solidify him in the top 5 of the featherweight division. But guys, yesterday, UFC Abu Dhabi saw some absolutely stellar finishes, great fights as well. Let's just start for the prelims. The first fight of the night, Marcus Buchecha losing to Martin Baudet. Buchecha, we actually all picked him to win in his UFC debut, but Baudet, really just put it on him and showed the experience that he has in the UFC, and he actually moves to 7-1 in the heavyweight division. Sam, I'll start with you first. What did you see from that fight, and were you expecting a little more from Buchecha?
I think I was. I think, honestly, it was close at first, but I think at the end of the day, just the fight IQ wasn't there. I think Mick Parkin just kind of outclassed him, showed that this guy's a prospect. He has a lot to learn. Not Mick Parkin. Marcus Boudet.
Yep.
Yeah. Martin Boudet kind of just he kind of showed that he just outclassed him, and that Buchecha was not necessarily ready for the UFC. I mentioned Mick Parkin because I think that's the best match next for Martin Boudet. He didn't prove that much with this win. It's still a great win for him, taking down a prospect with great jiu-jitsu ability. Don't get me wrong. We saw that on display, the jiu-jitsu ability, but Boudet looked really good and defended that really well. I've had the original prediction I have for Boudet before this fight was made was Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin needs to fight slightly down. I think this is a great test for him right now. 12 versus 13. I don't expect Boudet to move up in the rankings. So give him Mick Parkin next for his next matchup. I like that.
they're definitely gonna have to harp down on just calling fights a little bit earlier when guys are clearly out of it. Like, just call it a TKO. Like, it is what it is. But then the counter side of that argument is if the people are going to complain, oh, it was an early stoppage, he was still good. And that just goes to show me people don't know what a TKO is.
Yeah.
So you're lost. But
he would have lost his eye if that kept going, in my opinion.
For sure. But next up for Steven Nguyen, I want to see him against another young prospect. I'd love to see him against like an Austin Bashi. Like, I think that'd be a really fun fight. But again, I want to see him against another prospect. I think those are the type of fights that you can put him in now. But again, really impressive performance by Nguyen, and he walked away with a $50K bonus.
Yeah, I think we all talked about this fight was kind of going to be dominant for Steven Nguyen. And it became more dominant. This fight should have been stopped a lot earlier. I don't really know what Jason Herzog was seeing not stopping it, but I'm glad they stopped it after round 2. A little too late, in my opinion, but just a dominant fight overall. Nguyen looks really good, man. He's cruising. Definitely gets a big win right there. I like that match a lot. Srikar, I think 2 good prospects up right now. 10-2 for Steven Nguyen. I know back in the win column, he lost his last fight, which was over a year ago, actually. So he's not the most active fighter. That's the other thing you have to kind of keep in mind. But hopefully, maybe after this dominant win, he can be a little more active.
Definitely. I actually really do like that Bashi pick. I'm a big fan of Austin Bashi too. I think that fight would be fireworks. And yeah, I want to see him against a prospect. So it's like kind of, this is how you start weeding out the younger fighters. You really find out who's good and who's not good. And honestly, I think both of them are very good. So I don't actually know how that fight will go, but nonetheless, amazing performance from Steven Nguyen. And it's just a little bit on the knockdown record. You can't get the knockdown record without having a tough ass opponent. Like, the guy has to keep getting up to get knocked back down. But prayers up to Yaya. I hope that he's okay, because I
saw a tweet that said Herzog was in the I bet the over mood for rounds going.
So I was thinking, like, oh my god, if someone bet Steven Nguyen first round knockout, they would be kicking
I'd be
themselves
livid
right now.
I would be
livid.
I would be so upset. But from an absolute banger of a fight to a snooze fest, Billy Elikana takes the unanimous decision victory over Ibo Aslan, who was visibly confused after he heard the decision, thinking that he did enough. 2 30-27s were read amongst the judges' scorecards. And I just honestly was not impressed at all with either of these guys. I mean, it was just a complete lack of, aggression and showing that they really want it. And it looked like they were just playing tag in the octagon, in my opinion. Sam, what were your initial thoughts on Ibo Aslan? We all picked Ibo Aslan, by the way.
Yeah, we all picked Ibo Aslan. He looked terrible. Elikana didn't look great either. I mean, honestly, Ibo Aslan is only on this card and only in the UFC because they don't have many UAE fighters. So
yep.
At this point, you got to cut him. I don't really know what else to tell you, man. Got to find a better UAE fighter on the card. I guess you can use Chimaev, but I mean, he's not technically from the UAE. He just has that country that he represents for the when it comes to the rankings. And Elikana also just did not impress me at all. I really don't have anything for these guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if both of them get cut. This was just a terrible fight overall. For what ended up being a good fight night, this was one of the worst. This was probably the worst fight on it.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I strongly disagree with the scorecards. I don't think it was a 30-27.
I didn't either.
At all.
Well, it was 30-27, 29-28, and 29. There was only one 30-27.
But
no, there were two 30-27s.
No, it was 30-27, 29.
It doesn't matter.
You have to give
I understand the reaction though. Like I understand why you'd be like a little like 30-27 is insane.
Regardless of the fact, not a very exciting.
Chris, where are you seeing it with 32?
Look up on Twitter. On
UFC.com posts the official scorecards.
UFC News, yeah, the official scorecards. Mark Collette and
Anders you know what? All right, and kids, this is why you do not trust Wikipedia as your source. You are right, Chris. So my apologies.
It's okay. Trust me, I've gotten many things wrong, and I have to double check.
I'll make an edit to the Wikipedia while you move on to the next fight.
Okay, but yeah, absolute snooze fest. I have no idea what's next for these guys, and clearly, not looking too good. However, someone that will move up in the rankings after a pretty brutal knockout. Tabitha Baby Shark Ritchie taking out Amanda Hebos. I don't think anyone in the world thought that was going to end in a Ritchie knockout. That was, I believe, plus 1,000 at least on the.
It was plus 1,800.
Plus 1,800. I mean, look, I predicted the finish, and the over/under on this fight was 2.5 rounds set at minus 600. I said she was going to do it by submission. But if you check our reels, Srikar also got something very right. Check the reels on our socials.
Yes.
I called.
That was you that got it right. Not
no,
Srikar.
But Srikar got Guskov right, and we'll talk about that a little later.
Oh, yeah.
So we both had two, pretty good predictions.
Yeah. So that means, are right here, guys. We're growing the TikTok. We're growing the reels. So just good.
Definitely
check
it out. Yeah, listen to us. We know ball. All of us know ball, and we would never steer you guys wrong. But yeah, I mean. Look, I knew that Ritchie I said it. She's a pressure grappler. That's exactly what she was doing. She closed the gap. It was Hebos's game. Obviously, she's a judo black belt and BJJ black belt, but she's a very good striker too. That's what she wants to do. And Ritchie kind of just really negated that. Went into the clinch, a lot of short shots. In the second round, she hit her with one elbow, and her corner realized that really affected Hebos, and they just kept saying again. And she listened, man, and just kept unloading elbows until, that was actually a pretty nasty TKO. She hit her with an elbow, with the point of her elbow went right into Hebos's left eye and just folded her. But yeah, I mean, Ritchie looked pretty good. She's very small though, so it's kind of hard to see where she's gonna go. Srikar, I'll go with you right now. What did you see from Ritchie, and where do you see her going next?
Yeah, speaking of the size, if they were ever going to do like an atomweight division, I would.
Yes.
Tabitha Ritchie's like the first person that's going there.
Oh, 100%.
Honestly, like I thought Hebos would use that size advantage, but I mean, Ritchie was just not having it. Like the elbows against the cage were just gorgeous. That first one in the finishing sequence, that clearly rocked something inside Hebos, because she didn't just like fold after that, but she was like shook. And then Ritchie just smelled the finish instantly. So that's her first UFC TKO, second overall finish. A win that's going to keep her in that top 10 combo for a good while. And next up for her, I think it's actually pretty clear. You're coming off the biggest win of your UFC run. Every time she steps in there, she's proving she can handle bigger fighters, despite, again, probably being an atomweight in a perfect world. Yep. I think Mackenzie Dern makes a lot of sense here. Grappling heavy matchup. Both are right around that title conversation. The winner could absolutely earn a title eliminator. I think this is your next matchup. I think Tabitha Ritchie should be fighting Mackenzie Dern.
Yeah, I like that matchup too. I think the one, it was hard for me to matchmake her. I actually didn't go Mackenzie Dern. That was an option I considered. But mainly just the strawweight division. We need to have a whole conversation about the strawweight division, because it is pretty loaded at the top right now. And I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. You have Zhang Weili, who I believe is the #1 pound-for-pound women's fighter. Verna Jandiroba will fight for that title against her whenever that may be. Then you have Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos booked. Yan Xiaonan is still one of the better fighters in the strawweight. I know she's lost a few big fights, but she's still up there. You have Mackenzie Dern, and now you have Tabitha Ritchie. Not to mention Jessica Andrade and Lupi Godinez fighting at UFC 319. I actually think Ritchie should fight the winner of that, mainly just because I think I match-made Mackenzie Dern for the loser of that Suarez and Lemos fight, because I think she can fight up a little bit more. And Suarez and Tatiana Suarez and Amanda Lemos are booked at UFC No Chase. So I think it's a step up for her. And a lot of these strawweight fighters, the issue that the UFC has right now, a lot of these strawweight fighters have fought each other. So there's going to be a lot of recycling opponents you're going to see coming up when they book it. So I think it's going to depend on what the UFC wants. Who's the better fight? Who's the better opponent to recycle? I think that's a big question that the UFC is going to have to ask themselves. But this is the most stacked women's division right now, and I think we're going to see a lot of action. We have another contender in the mix now with Tabitha Ricci, guys.
No, 100%. Srikar, I really like that Mackenzie Dern fight. And it's funny because we've had these constant conversations about the UFC doesn't like to put Brazilians against Brazilians unless they really have to.
They do it for the women's, though.
Yeah, they do it for the women's because a lot of them tend to be Brazilian. But I think that is a good fight. Sam, I also do like your notion about fight. What'd you say? The winner of Andrade
and Lupe Godinez, because Andrade has been struggling. So she wins, she has to fight down.
Yeah.
Godinez is in number 11 right now. Godinez is 11 right now. So that's going to be right around where Ricci is going to be ranked. And it's a good chance for both of those guys to move up. Whereas I think Mackenzie Dern is already proven that she can move up in the rankings and can fight a little higher.
I definitely agree with that. But I don't know. I think the Dern fight, in my opinion, it's just they're actually both coming off finishes now. And
yes.
Both over Hebos.
Hold on.
Yeah, both over Hebos, which is funny. So I guess it would be who beat Hebos worse. But
okay, no, sorry.
Ricci.
Now I remember. Can I interrupt? The reason I didn't match make Mackenzie Dern and Tabitha Ricci is because they're training partners.
Oh, okay.
So that's because there was something that was conflicting. It wasn't because Mackenzie Dern deserves to fight up more. It's because they're training.
I'm not gonna lie though. We've seen training partners fight before.
We have before.
John Jones and Sugar.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen a lot of these. We've seen a lot of these training partners fight before, and maybe they just do it this one time. Who was the one that fought? There was one,
and it's not like there's going to be bad blood between Ricci and Dern. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. And this is not a fight you have to hype up with bad blood. It's just, are they going to agree to fight each other? Because that's the huge if. But I think it would be fun for both of them. I think it would be a fun fight to watch. I don't hate the fight, and I honestly think if they decide to not do like training partners and like just separate for a little bit, do it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see because you're right. A lot of training partners, tend to not want to fight each other unless, specifically needed. But it'll be interesting. I think either of the options, Srikar, your option of Dern, and Sam, your option of the winner of Godinez and Andrade would be good for Ricci next as she looks to move up the rankings. And someone that has just been a staple in the UFC bantamweight division, Davy Grant, just taking out up-and-coming contenders left and right. I wouldn't say contenders. I'll say prospects. Up-and-coming prospects left and right. Damon Blackshear was, finishing everyone left and right by submission. And, this guy he's good. Like, there's no really bad things to say about him. However, Davy Grant made him look like a one-trick pony, in my opinion. Yeah. As soon as he survived the entire, I believe it was over 3.5 minutes on the ground in the first round, Blackshear was in deep, man. He had double hooks. He got Grant's back. He even had a crossface at one point, tried to crank, and Davy Grant just stayed calm and composed. He used his experience. And one of the things that I said in our predictions was, Davy Grant hasn't been submitted in 7 years, and clearly he worked on it because he looked very calm and composed in very tough situations. And as soon as it got to the feet, man, he is a wild guy. He will just swing. He's calculated, and he has power too. He was visibly rocking Blackshear on the feet. He didn't knock him down, but you could tell that Blackshear was hesitant to throw because he didn't want to get counterpunched because it would have been lights out for him. But regardless.
I believe that Davy Grant has, we all predicted Blackshear by submission, or was that just me that predicted it?
Srikar and I thought by decision. You thought by submission.
Interesting. Okay.
But it did go to decision. However, just we were not on the right side of it. And, Davy Grant, like I said, made him look like a one-trick pony. Sam, what did you see from Blackshear? And, it's just in the later stages of that fight.
I mean, Davy Grant is a BMF, man. He is tough to beat. Good. That's the thing. You could argue he's one of the – I've seen a lot of arguments recently. He's one of the best veterans in the UFC. He's 39. He's still killing it, man. I feel like he's bantamweight. You're not going to see him much in the title picture, but at the end of the day, like he's been a good gatekeeper, especially for these unranked fighters. Damon Blackshear, who's kind of on a tear coming in. Now Davey Grant's on a 2-fight win streak. Maybe make it. I don't know how much time he has left, but he's looking great. Few more pushes for him. You never know. Maybe he can get into the rankings. I don't know if he was ever ranked before. I believe he was though. If I'm not 100%.
Yes,
sure,
he definitely was. It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I know he's fought Chito Vera twice. So obviously a great fighter right there. But yeah, man, David Grant's looking good. That's all I gotta say. And that's no discredit to Blackshear. I think just David Grant outclassed him, made him look like a one-trick pony, and I think Blackshear will learn from that.
Yeah, nice comeback for Davey Grant. He's just always been like a huge problem for like these really promising young guys, especially guys that have less miles on their record and less cardio issues than Blackshear. So obviously he's never been the more technical guy. He just comes to scrap. He's just very frustrating to fight. Like he is a very, very frustrating guy to go against, including for guys who really should be beating him on paper, like Damon Blackshear. So now he's won 4 of his last 5 with a very close split decision against Daniel Marcos, which arguably you could say he won. Next up for him, I'd love to see him against Said Nurmagomedov. We're going to talk about him in a little bit. I think it'd be a good matchup for him, and that could get him even closer to the rankings, which, he's oh so close to, probably just 1 win away from getting that shot. So overall, good stuff from Davey Grant. Can't be mad at it.
100%. And I think that Davey Grant, he's a very good litmus test for a lot of these younger guys who are, trying to find where they're at in this division. And he's tough, man. He's been around the block. And I honestly think that he could fight for a few more years. Just keep going, ride it till the wheels fall off. But it was nice to see him get back in the win column. There's always like it's like, I'm happy for him, but I wanted the prediction to be right. But regardless, still happy for Davey Grant, one of the better fighters to be doing it still in the UFC. And speaking of older fighters, I think it was knockout of the year, in my opinion. That was
no.
That was a
I don't think it was knockout of the year,
country-esque knockout. 41-year-old Muslim Salikhov, the king of Kung Fu, ending it with an overhand right in 42 seconds over Carlos Leal. Another guy that we all picked to win by knockout. It ended in a knockout. It just wasn't Leal.
It was so quick, too. It was 40 seconds into the fight, and he was out cold, man. That was cold-blooded.
That was like a Mark Hunt walk-off KO, and it was nonchalant if we're saying it like for the younger kids. But yeah, I was severely impressed by that. Absolutely amazing, guys. What was your first thoughts about that? My jaw was on the floor for 5 minutes. I had to pick it back up. So
this was a ridiculous fight, man. I mean, very quick. Not really a ridiculous fight, but just a ridiculous knockout for Muslim Salikhov, who, I mean, I believe he's 41.
He's 41. Yeah, he's 41.
Yeah, he said it. He said in his post-fight interview, he's 41 years young. Emphasis on the young. So he's still killing it, man. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He is very close to a ranked opportunity. I don't have him in the ranked opportunity just yet with how stacked welterweight is, but you never know, man. It could be there. A lot of the guys in welterweight need to fight up, but I think one fight I like for him a lot. How about him and Kevin Holland, 2 Kung Fu masters? Let's do it. Make that happen, both in the welterweight division. I think that would be a phenomenal fight. And the winner after that can either be back in the rankings or get a ranked shot. Have both of them together. I feel like that's the perfect fight to make. Just Kung Fu versus Kung Fu, man.
I was actually thinking 2 very different directions for Salikhov. But actually, Salikhov, he did that, man. That was really, really good. Carlos Leal is a monster, man. Like we already knew that, but monster or not, you still got to defend yourself. His hands were too low. He was just waiting in. Straight up wizardry from Salikhov, man. Unreal performance. As I mentioned, 2 ways that I think this could go. Kung Fu versus Kung Fu would definitely be cool. But if you want to do Wushu versus Karate, I really like his call out of Wonder Boy. I think that would be a really, really fascinating
I did like that too.
But actually, that's like the second to what I was thinking, because this guy is 41, and I think you should literally just send him up because he's had back-to-back insane knockouts. So obviously the spinning wheel kick against Song Keenan, and now you do this to Carlos Leal. I was thinking whoever loses between Carlos Prates and Jeff Neal, if you want to do that. Like, I think if you really want to send this guy up, because again, he's over 40, he doesn't have that much time left. Do that, man. You either get the unction with him and Jeff Neal, or you get a really fascinating matchup with him and Carlos Prates. So either way it goes.
The unction, man.
Hey, but that's going to be hands. That's going to
That was just a perfectly timed overhand right. Perfectly timed. And he's showing he still has it, coming off 2 great finishes. Absolutely amazing finishes. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes next, but I like the direction that you're going in.
Yeah, one quick note
of course,
before we move on. Just it's the welterweight division is so interesting right now because all the fighters in the rankings need to fight up. Besides Gilbert Burns, who I have match made for Daniel Rodriguez. So all of like the very bottom need to fight up, and then the rest of it's just so unbooked right now. So it's interesting. It's like lightweight. Just there's so many questions about the welterweight division. I think we'll get some answers soon, and I think then the picture will ease out. Who's this Muslim Salikhov fight next, and is a ranked opportunity viable for him at this point?
Yes,
I think the answer is yes. I know I didn't match make it, but I think if the UFC wants to give him a ranked opportunity, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, definitely. And whoever he is going to fight, it'll be a banger. Trust me. And the next fight, the the featured prelim. I was going to say the main event of the
main event of the prelims.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. It's the featured prelim. And honestly, with Movsar and Pico falling out of the main card, personally, I think it should have been on the main card. Just they didn't have enough fights to put it on the main card. Sam with another lone wolf pick.
Oh no, I'm not doing that.
Bryce Mitchell taking a unanimous decision victory over Saeed Nurmagomedov after getting viciously knocked down with a knee in the first round, bouncing back, securing nearly 2 rounds of control time. It just seemed that every time Saeed had something going, Bryce Mitchell was right there to hug him and take him down and hold him there. He was looking for submissions. Saeed is, he's a well-versed grappler, but Bryce Mitchell, he probably made the right decision going down to bantamweight. It seems like. I know Srikar, I'm going to come to you first. I know we talked about that. You didn't think maybe that was the right decision for him, but how did you think that he looked in that fight?
Hey man, even when he wins, bro, like Bryce Mitchell getting dropped on live TV. That's
awesome. I love it.
It's very satisfying to see.
Not a standout performance either way, though. I think Bryce did enough with control, but it wasn't. He did nothing with it. Like he didn't. Yeah. It wasn't damaging. Saeed obviously had that flashy knee. He had a good reversal, but he just couldn't stop the grappling. He fouled a ton in that third round. His toes were in the cage that entire third round. Yeah. I'm actually very surprised they didn't take a point, but it's Abu Dhabi, so I guess.
Yeah.
He had home octagon advantage.
Yeah, but I mean, Mitchell definitely proved he can hang at 135. I'm actually very curious to see what they line up for him next, because I have a couple ideas, but I really don't know what they're gonna do with him. I want to see him against a young guy that the UFC is trying to push. And in my mind, if we look at bantamweight, those are 2 names. One of them is Raul Rosas. And you guys are going to hate me for that.
Oh, my God.
You guys are going to hate me for that. But Raul Rosas, I actually think is an option.
That would give me the easiest fighter to root for in a fight.
Oh, for sure. The other option, y'all might grill me even more for this, Peyton Talbot. I think Peyton Talbot could be an option as well. Because whoever wins in those fights, the UFC clearly gets a push out of them. No matter who wins, they're going to get attention. So I think Raul Rosas or Peyton Talbot could be next for Bryce Mitchell. I don't really know what direction they're planning to go because I don't know. Bryce Mitchell is such an awkward fit into this bantamweight pit. Like, I don't know how you guys see it, but I feel like she's very like he can hang here, but like I just don't know who he's gonna fight. You know,
I actually have a guy who I think is actually perfect, kind of on that trend a little bit, not as hyped up. Srikar. Last week he's out of the rankings now, but last week he was ranked in featherweight division. That tells me he's close to the bantamweight rankings. Kyler Phillips is on a 2-fight losing streak right now, guys. I like that a lot for him. Number 14 in the rankings. I wouldn't be surprised when the rankings come out, and we're recording this on Sunday. When this is posted, the rankings will be out. I would not be surprised if Bryce Mitchell's in the rankings because Said Nurmagomedov was also very close to the rankings, in my opinion. So I would not be surprised if A, Bryce Mitchell is ranked, or B, if he's not, he gets a ranked opportunity.
My early prediction is he's picking Marcus McGee versus Montel Jackson, but he's not going to reveal it because he wants to make it a secret. And then when we get to that actual point, he might have to change the pick, or he's just going to say it again. I'm losing the rails here, but there's your
you will wait and see. Keep tuning in for what I do with Marcus McGee. It could be Montel Jackson. It could be someone else, but
because there's only one more bantamweight fight left, and you're not going to give Montel Jackson to freaking Piotr Jan. So
I could. I mean, is Piotr Jan a title contender? TBD, man.
Hey, who knows? The world may never. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Sam is just changing pick right now.
I mean, dude, Almabayev also could be moving up. I'm just saying, Ochoa could move up to bantamweight.
Hey,
Asu will get killed at bantamweight.
Right,
anyway. But
all right, let's get back on topic. Let's get back on topic.
I do like that Kyler Phillips pick because I think that Bryce Mitchell can find the rankings. Kyler Phillips is on a little bit of a skid, but it's a good litmus test to see if Kyler Phillips can bounce back. But also it'll be a good opportunity for Bryce Mitchell to find the bottom half of the rankings. Someone else I was thinking about is Amin Zahabi, but I think that's just
I think he has to fight up.
I was gonna say I think Amin deserves to fight up, even if his fight with Aldo. Some saw Aldo winning that, many saw Aldo winning that. But yeah, I think that Zahabi deserves to fight up, and Bryce Mitchell could find the rankings eventually, but nonetheless, he picks up the unanimous decision victory in the featured prelim over Said Nurmagomedov, who looked gassed after the first round. He needs to work on that cardio because that is a problem, especially as a Dagestani. They are known for cardio. But moving to the first fight on the main card, something that Srikar nailed right on on head.
This deserves a standing ovation as someone who predicted.
I'm not going to stand up, but I'll get.
This is.
Hey, I appreciate it, fellas. Thank you.
Nailed it, dude. Go check out the TikTok, Instagram reel that we have links right below, or not the link, but the socials right below. Go check it out because Srikar told you exactly what was going to happen. And it happened. Chris, if you're okay with that, I'll let Srikar just take the floor.
100%. Srikar, take it away, man. That was impressive.
I'm really getting glazed for this Gooskov pick. I love it.
I mean, you nailed it, dude.
Hey, he was also a plus 160 dog. I mean, I picked Gooskov. I didn't know if it was going to be a first round KO, but you were confident. So take it away.
Yeah, unfortunately, I hope you guys bet Bogdan by knockout or Bogdan by first round knockout. I didn't. I just bet his money line because Cliff just did not give me that option. But
come on, Cliff.
Yeah, I mean, it's a social sports book. What can I say? Bogdan, man. Bogdan. He came through big. Is he top 10 ready? Maybe not. But Krylov, he came back way too soon after the Reyes knockout. And this fight wasn't really about who was the better fighter. It was about whether Bogdan could just find the chin, like just once over 15 minutes. And, well, we all saw what happened. Next up for Nikita Krylov first, I want to see him versus Alonzo Menifield. I think this one makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
Krylov needs a bounce back. Menifield's hungry for a statement win. I think this is your statement win. So I'd love to see Krylov and Menifield. For Bogdan Guskov, obviously, again, biggest win of his career. No question about it. Just the power, the highlight potential. He's going to get a push, man. He's going to get a push. If Jamal Hill is sticking around at light heavyweight, I think this is the guy to welcome him back.
That was my pick.
Hill is ranked at 6 right now, maybe 7 soon, because Bogdan is going to move up and he'll probably move down as a result. This would be a huge litmus test for both guys. So Krylov versus Menifield, Guskov versus Jamal Hill should be next for sure.
Srikar, you nailed both of my predictions right there. I had Krylov and Menifield. I like that one. You talked about the fight. I'll talk about the predictions a little bit more. I like that one. Krylov's on a 2-fight losing streak. Menifield, he beat Umar Sy, but just hasn't proven much. I think these are two guys that the loser of this fight will be out of the rankings when it's all said and done. This is a shot to stay in the rankings, prove that, I actually am legit and I deserve to be here. So I think that makes a lot of sense. And then for Bogdan Guskov, it's interesting. I said during the podcast, like, he's just going to hit you with one. He may not have the best fight, but then when he hits you with one hook, he hits like a train, man, and it's out. This was his best fight that I've watched. I want to see him do a little bit more, and I think Jamal Hill's a great step up for that. I think right now, I mean, unless you want to go Jan Blachowicz, but I think that's too far of a step up. I think Jamal Hill is the best option for him. And also for Jamal Hill, it's kind of just like, look, you've lost, 3 straight now? Do you want to stay? Do you want to stay in the top 10, then prove it against probably the best the best up-and-comer in the rankings right now in Bogdan Guskov. So I really like that. Great win for Guskov. And make those 2 fights happen. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you nailed it, Srikar. I really see Guskov fighting Jamal Hill. If he doesn't move up, which personally I think that he should really
is that
think
the rumor
about
that he wants to move up?
I mean, just his weight cut is so hard, and he clearly doesn't really try. He doesn't
fit the light heavyweight physique.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think he'd actually fare pretty well at heavyweight, and that would also be that would be another contender in the heavyweight division. Something that they're lacking very much. Exactly, they're lacking that very much. So. Definitely something for Jamal Hill to think about. But Srikar, you nailed it perfectly. If Krylov does not fight Alonzo Menifield, I could see him maybe fighting Dustin Jacoby. I think that would be a very good fight as well. But regardless, I think that those were 2 very good choices. And Sam and I both agree with you. And hey, we nailed it, but we had to get a little get back on Sam because he was always getting the lone wolf. So I was like, we can't let him get another one.
In our chat, there's a great. I sent like a wolf emoji once. Bryce Mitchell won, and then as soon as Guskov won, they sent me a wolf pack. So,
yeah,
one and one, man.
2 wolves.
Which I'm not gonna lie, it's super petty. So
it's fun to be the lone wolf when you get the prediction right and the others get it wrong. So.
It's all fun and games in the war room. We love debating and
what are you
going
talking
at each other.
War, man. It's the war room.
I said the war room.
This is life. The war room is life, guys.
Oh yeah, you're right.
If you want more life, then you subscribe to the MMA war room down below.
More life.
If you want more life, you go listen to Drake.
You go play that passion fruit.
Oh my god!
But regardless,
about that song.
Something else that another fight that we all collectively got wrong. I felt like that happened a lot this card, and recently in the UFC.
The best card for us.
I know, but also recently in the UFC, it's been a little wonky. But
318 was bad. 318 was actually really bad.
This card grilled us. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we've had 2 bad cards,
but it's all right. We're bouncing back next week, regardless. Asu Almabayev defeats surging competitor in the flyweight division, Jose Ochoa, who even though he got controlled for what I believe is 9 minutes, so nearly 2 rounds. Jose Ochoa has proved that he can hang with a top contender in the flyweight division. However, Asu, he stuck to his game plan. He knew that Ochoa was just too much to handle on the feet. And as soon as he felt a little bit of a threat, he was shooting a takedown. And that's something that Jose Ochoa was lacking. And, you know, regardless, he got back to his feet a couple of times. He showed that he has what it takes to hang on the ground, but Asu, pressure grappler, he's really going to get to you in that form and facet of MMA. But I mean, I think Ochoa looked solid. I was a little mad at Asu Almabayev. He was cheating a little bit. I saw his toes in the cage, and he was trying to take down Ochoa and grabbed the fence, trying to take him down. I feel like, if anything, the person getting taken down should be grabbing the fence, not vice versa. But he did get a warning for that. Regardless, a very solid performance from Asu Almabayev in his region of the world. And I just thought it was a solid fight, not too many fireworks. But Sam, I'm going to come to you first. What did you see from both the fighters, and what do you have next?
Yeah, first of all, don't discredit Jose Ochoa, because he is a person to be like, he's a threat in this division for some of these fighters. Looked really good. They gave him a very high shot on short notice.
Yeah.
And I think he stepped up. At the end of the day, it wasn't a win, but he proved that he can fight with the best. And Asu Almabayev, he gave him trouble, man. Almabayev definitely won this fight. I like the decision they gave. And he'll get a good contender next. I'll talk about that a little bit later. But Jose Ochoa I believe he should get a ranked opportunity next, potentially
Definitely.
against Bruno. Bruno Silva's a name to watch. It'll depend on who.
But I think Asu won. Big bounce back for Almabayev. He brought the wrestling heat as usual, but he also just showed off how tough and scrappy he is in the chaos. Good hands too. Grinding through that knee from Ochoa was wild. Like, I think that was the most impressive part of the fight for me. But as for Ochoa, Sam, I agree with you. 1 and 2 in the UFC for sure, but this guy can absolutely hang with top tier talent, you know. So for his next fight, I'm hoping the UFC gives him something winnable so he can stack some momentum, build his name even more. And in that regard, I'd give him another wrestler in Daniel Barres. I think it's a good measuring stick, really, for both guys, to be honest. Ochoa's earned a shot, he's kind of earned a shot to fight higher up, but I just kind of want to see him build his name a little bit more. Barres is still a threat. For Asu, Sam, I'm with you 100%. I think Kai Kara France is perfect. Again, Almabayev, gritty win on short notice. He's got real momentum. KKF could use that bounce back. That's not a rematch. And these two haven't crossed paths yet. And in a division where, most contenders have fought each other already, this one is a fresh matchup, and it could go down as soon as the next Abu Dhabi card. Like, I want to see this on UFC 321. I'm sure Kai will oblige, and Almabayev will obviously oblige because he's Kazakh. But I think this is a good step up for Almabayev. He obviously called out Joshua Van, which I think is a horrible call out.
I meant to bring that up. What are we doing with that? That's a terrible call out.
It's a terrible call out, but shoot or shoot. So I guess.
Hey, I just thought
he'll
Josh
get
Van's
something
video
favorable with
like,
the KKF. So
this is one of those, oh my goodness, Valentine call outs.
Yeah, I was gonna say shoot or shoot, and I think that was an air ball.
Yeah,
for sure. But KKF is still a good step up, so can't be mad at it.
Yeah, I like that. Don't get me wrong. I think that he should be fighting up. However, I kind of want to see the initial fight that was supposed to happen. I want to see him fight Ramazan Temirov.
Fight down again?
Yeah, I mean,
look,
Jose Ochoa almost had him twice. he had 2 submission attempts and almost had him. And I think Temerov will be a very good,
but Ochoa is arguably also the most dangerous unranked flyweight.
Say it again?
Ochoa is also arguably the most dangerous unranked flyweight. So to give him probably the second most dangerous unranked flyweight right after he beat the most dangerous unranked flyweight, I feel like is unfair to Asu.
No. Temeron's
Temeron is ranked. He's
ranked now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 13.
Okay,
I think that he should fight up, but at the same time, I want to see a little more. Like Manel Kopp destroyed him. And Kai Kara-France is pretty good too. He's a good striker. And the grappling is very suspect from what we've seen recently and, throughout his career. But I think I want to see him versus Ramazan. I was looking forward to that fight. And when I saw Ochoa was stepping in, I was very excited as well. But I think it would be a good fight in my opinion. And I was going to say, oh my God, I was going to say Andre Lima, but there's no way that the UFC would go that low for the number 9 contender.
No, Andre Lima that's a guy I think should fight Bruno Silva or someone in that area.
If Asu doesn't fight Temerov, then I think maybe Andre Lima should be fighting Temerov, but we're not matchmaking them right now.
Yeah.
I think that whoever Asu fights, it should be a good one. Just be ready for a lot of grappling and wrestling, because that's what Asu Amabayev brings to the table, and he did it against Jose Ochoa to secure a unanimous decision victory. And the next fight on the main card, fight of the night.
Easily.
Shara Bullet versus Marc-Andre Barriault. That was crazy. I thought Shara Bullet was going to get finished in that second round when his nose got absolutely shattered. But he stuck in there. He stayed calm and composed, and he just played his game, man. He did kickboxing. This fight did not see the floor, and
in the mud and came out on top. Like, that's what separates a good prospect from an actual contender. Being able to win the gritty version of a fight and not just your ideal version of a fight. So I'm super impressed by Shara. I think this is where I officially this guy's for real. First off, for Marc-Andre Barriault, CLD, Christian Leroy Duncan, he fights Eric Anders very soon. I think if he beats Eric Anders, I want to see Marc-Andre Barriault versus CLD. Both guys bring the heat. So I want to let's find out who can take that next step into the real middleweight mix, because if Barriault rebounds and gets a knockout, over Christian Leroy Duncan, he's right back in it, even though he's on like a 3 or 4 fight losing streak. He's
lost 4 of his last 5.
But I think, this actually did a really, really good things for his stock, especially him keeping it very close with Shara as a plus like 470 underdog, the biggest underdog on the card. For Shara though, I want to see him fight Bruno Ferreira. Both of these guys have just flirted with the rankings and then stumbled just before getting over the hump. I want to see them in the cage together, whether it's on the Brazil fight night, on UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi, or even the Qatar fight night would be good for this. Like, whoever wins this one finally gets that number next to their name. Like, I think whoever wins this is going to be ranked. For Bruno, long overdue. This guy has always been one of the most dangerous unranked middleweights. And for Shara, let's see if he can get over that hump finally and take down a very, very tough opponent, and one that will present kind of those same tendencies that Marc-Andre Barriault did in terms of the pressure, in terms of always being in your face. So I think this is an interesting matchup stylistically, and I think it makes sense with where both of these guys are at in their UFC journeys so far.
Yeah, I like that a lot, honestly. I was going to go a bit of a different direction. I'll talk about that a little more later, but I like that Bruno Ferreira pick. That was an option I considered as well. I think Marc-Andre Barriault definitely impressed. I know the judges all had it 30-27. I thought he won the second round. I had it 29-28, Shara. But at the end of the day, I mean, Shara is definitely a true contender in this division. 15-1. His loss was to Mike, or 16-1, excuse me. Losses to Michael Page, who I think that's a guy who should be in the rankings in the middleweight division. I think hopefully he will get in after his Jared Cannonier fight. It's always tough with Shara Bullet, man, because he can't fight outside of the Middle East, which it's just an unfortunate thing with his eye not commissioned there. So it's always going to be interesting to see what the UFC does. I like that Bruno Ferreira pick a lot. The other guy I was looking at for Shara Bullet, Jack Hermansson, 24-9. He's on the loss win train. So therefore, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to go with that. But that's a guy very close to the rankings as well. Just outside of it, I think that's a good one. And then after that, maybe a ranked shot. Another option I'll throw. I have a matchmake for a different guy, Marvin Vettori. I wouldn't be surprised if that's another match that's made. If you want to give him another ranked opportunity, personally, I think RoboCop is the better fit for Marvin Vettori. So that's why I'm going with Jack Hermansson, but I like that Bruno Ferreira pick a lot, Srikar.
Interesting. I was actually thinking, because how long is Jack Hermansson going to take off? Like, because he just got brutally knocked out, and he's already a guy that was tending to take like a year off in between his fights, right?
Well, so Shara also, the thing with Shara is like he has to take time off because he can only fight in the Middle East. That's my other thing. I don't know. Will he be ready for a turnaround?
There's a lot of overseas cards happening soon, though. You have the Brazil.
There's the UFC 321 in the Qatar card. So if he's ready from those, I think you give him Bruno Ferreira. But if he's not, I think you might have to wait a little bit longer. Jack Hermansson works out really well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I was actually thinking about maybe him versus RoboCop. I don't like that though. I like what I think
RoboCop needs to fight further up.
Yes, I agree. You know who I was thinking? And he just lost, so it would kind of be a bounce back for him, and it would put Shara Bullet in the rankings. If he should still be in the rankings, Roman Kopylov. I think that would be a very good fight.
I don't hate that either. Kopylov is 15, right? Oh no, sorry, I had Kopylov. Okay, I messed this. I'm gonna have to change my rankings because I had Vettori versus Ferreira and Kopylov versus RoboCop. It was Kopylov and RoboCop that I want. Vettori, I'll have to find someone else for.
Okay,
I like that Ferreira.
I think that Kopylov versus Shara would be a great fight. That would be a kickboxing fan's absolute dream. But yeah, it's very nice to see Shara deal with a pressure fighter, someone that's going to push the pace on him, especially Marc-Andre Barriault, whose cardio is crazy and he has an iron chin. But nonetheless, it was a great fight. It very much deserved fight of the night. Personally, I wish you can give out 2 fights of the night because sometimes there just are 2 fights that are absolutely amazing. I think the main event was honestly should have been fight of the night. That was honestly insane. But
anytime you get a split decision, a banger split decision, it's
right. Exactly. But regardless, Shara Bullet will find the rankings very soon. I like what you're saying, Srikar, but I don't know how it would work in terms of, because I feel like both of them deserve ranked shots, and
that's why you put them together, and whoever wins, they're ranked.
Oh, okay. So it's just they're
I think
like that is the ranked. That is the ranked opportunity fight.
Okay,
like, for both of them.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, look, I can agree with both of you. I think that regardless of who they each fight, it'll be a good fight, and Barriault will definitely be a litmus test for a lot of these younger or surging prospects, fighters. I mean, Shara Bullet still is somewhat of a prospect, but I would call him a prospect. He doesn't have too much experience.
Nah, from here on out, I'm gonna put some respect on his name. I think he's a contender.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, Srikar certified Shara Bullet is not a prospect.
Nah, I think he's a contender now. Like this guy's proved it. Like he's proved it to me.
Yeah,
for sure.
I very much agree. It's just so hard to label who's a prospect and who's not. And regardless of age, I guess prospect can follow you for a lot of your career.
It can.
Someone else that is still a prospect, even though he's 35. He's 10-2 now. There's Marcus McGee, who put up a very, very good fight against Petr Yan. Petr Yan taking it by unanimous decision, showing that he still has what it takes to be at the top of the bantamweight rankings. And Srikar, I'm gonna let you take it. I'll let you go with Rob. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mention it too early.
You're killing my vibe, man. We're talking about Petr Yan.
I'll let you go with both of them because you wanted to go both first last time. So you take it away, man.
Oh, appreciate it. I mean, yeah, man, this is another Yan clinic. I mean, when this guy's in rhythm, man, it's just so smooth, dude. Like as a Petr Yan fan, like this is the type of guy that I just enjoy watching. Like it's so fun to watch this guy fight. He took the initiative early and he took the initiative late. He baited McGee into overextending. He showed that he's long past that throws away the first round stuff because he did not throw away the first round.
Nope.
That tweak he made after the second Aljo fight, like something changed with him, and I think that's fully baked into his game now. I'm not sure what those 29-28s are about. Like I think he should have taken that first round easily. Like I think it was a clear 30-27 for Yan. And once he opened up, just McGee had nothing for him. Like very, very clean combos. Again, solid variety. I love the way he managed that third round. Those little trips that he does just keep getting nastier and nastier. This time in like that final 30 seconds, he hit the trip. He went straight into a Kimura. It was crazy. But yeah, like what can I say about Petr Yan? This guy's so good. For Marcus McGee, I'm gonna steal Sam's thunder right now, man. I got him versus Montel Jackson next.
Oh yeah, I spoiled it. That was the pick. Yeah.
But I mean, it's a banger.
No.
It's a banger though. It's a banger.
Yeah.
Both guys are killers. They got momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I think this could be a fight of the night kind of scrap. You know, like I really like this matchup specifically. And Sam, I'm sorry, I know you wanted to say that one. But for Yan, I can maybe assure you that it's not going to be what you guys got. 3 wins in a row. He could sit back and hope for a title shot. But honestly, I really want to see Petr Yan force the UFC's hand. And I think the way he does that is by rematching Sean O'Malley. I think that is the best way to do that. This is a score that kind of still feels unsettled. And look, this would be the clearest title eliminator that bantamweight has right now. Like in terms of the styles of these two, what's at stake, obviously the big storyline around this fight. Like I think this fight checks every box as a title eliminator. This could be a pay-per-view co-main. This could do numbers. So I know you could just wait on it and you could get that title fight against Merab, but let's see him versus Sean O'Malley, man. Stay active. Petr Yan's not the type of guy to sit back. He really wants to be active about it. Like, obviously, he could have gotten a title shot against Aljo again, but he decided to fight Corey Sandhagen for the interim belt in the meantime. Like, this is a guy that always wants to fight, and that's why he took this Marcus McGee fight in the first place, and I think he does it again. So, Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley, too, I think is what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with that. I'll talk about the fight first, but I do not agree with that, Srikar. But I think the fight, Marcus McGee impressed me more than I thought. I thought he would. I thought Petr Yan was going to kind of steamroll him, but Marcus McGee impressed me. I think that was a probably 29-28 fight in my opinion for Petr Yan. And that's not any discredit to Petr Yan because he is an unreal fighter, man. Yeah, Montel Jackson, Marcus McGee, make that happen. I kind of spoiled the pick earlier. I think that's the best matchup to make. Both still great prospects right now. And the fact that they're both ranked says a lot. Montel Jackson's on a tear. McGee was on a tear before the fact that he lost to Petr Yan, and credit to him for taking such a fight so high up. Petr Yan versus Sean O'Malley. I personally, Srikar, just don't think that Sean O'Malley is worthy of a title eliminator fight. He's lost 2 straight. I don't want to see him win and then go right back to Merab because I know exactly what's going to happen, and Merab's just going to steamroll him. I think you need to give O'Malley 2 fights. And I am not willing to do that for a title eliminator. It seems like he's taken some time off, which I think is good for him. Right now, I actually don't have Sean O'Malley match made just because he says he wants to take time off. So I'm going to go with that. I also think whoever he fights next, it needs to be 2 fights for him, whether it be a Song Yadong, whether it be an Umar Nurmagomedov, or even the loser of Corey Sandhagen. If Corey Sandhagen loses, I don't hate that either. I do think Petr Yan is worthy of a title shot. However, right now, July 27th, when we're recording this, Petr Yan is next in line for the bantamweight title after Merab and Sandhagen, which I do believe that is the right fight to make for the UFC right now, Merab and Sandhagen. But Petr Yan is next. Will the UFC do it? That remains to be seen. The other two guys, so I think the other title eliminator that should be made, Umar Nurmagomedov and Song Yadong. I think that's a perfect title eliminator to have right now. When will it be booked though? That's the big question. Probably that Qatar fight in November. That's a great main event. Then you have Merab, you have Merab Sandhagen. The winner of that can probably fight again in January or February against Petr Yan, and then the winner of that takes on Umar and Song Yadong. Umar takes a lot of time off when he fights, man. So I think that's the right way to do it. And Sean O'Malley, I think you just leave him out of the picture for now. He needs 2 more wins, in my opinion. I'm very strong on that. I don't think you can put him in a title eliminator and say, okay, here you go. So that's what I got right now. Petr Yan, give him the next title shot after this Merab and Sandhagen fight. But if for some reason Yan does want to fight, give him Umar Nurmagomedov, in my opinion.
Sam actually raised a really good thing that I never answered on why Sean O'Malley's in a title eliminator. Money talks. Money talks.
It does. And credit to him, it does. But it would just be so boring to see him again. I'll let you finish. Sorry.
And with the way the UFC's been matchmaking recently, if they were willing to throw Sean O'Malley straight back into a title fight after he got dominated by Merab in the Sphere, they're going to throw him in a title eliminator. Like, they're going to do it. They're going to hold on to this guy as long as they can and put him in the biggest fights that they can for as long as they can, because they have it. That this is how the UFC does business. And this is also, it factors into the matchmaking too. So that was my whole logic behind putting Sean O'Malley in a title eliminator. But, you know, I think Yan and O'Malley would still be a very interesting fight. At least, well, for me, if you're going to make a title eliminator and you have these two in the cage together and it's going to be a banger. Last time they fought, it was an absolute banger. It was one of the best fights of the year. So we'll see. But he could just sit and wait. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I really want to see a Yan O'Malley rematch very badly, because I was on the right side of that on the betting front when it happened, and you know, I wasn't too upset about that decision. But yeah, Yan won that fight. It was just a matter of O'Malley was in the spot of, he was very popular and they needed that push for him.
Yeah, and but, I will say I do want to see this Yan O'Malley fight happen. I just don't think now is the time.
I agree with you, Sam. I agree with your prediction or your matchmaking as well. I think Yan is going to be next in line for a title shot. I want to see him fight Merab again. And you know what? I guess I'm disrespecting Sandhagen by saying he's going to fight Merab, because I guess I'm kind of looking past that fight. But at the same time, Yan, I felt like, look, that when I watched that fight initially, Merab versus Yan, shot 49 takedowns. That was unreal. And I think that Yan is a great wrestler, and clearly he defended 38 of them, because Merab only got credited for 11. But I just think he's at the point where he's almost undeniable. Like, you can't recycle Umar and O'Malley, obviously, and not saying O'Malley's being recycled in a title eliminator. If they wanted to do O'Malley versus Yan, I wouldn't be terribly mad about that. However, I just think Yan is at the point where he really deserves another title shot. And Umar, so apparently there's been traction about Umar is fighting Mario Batista.
Which would be, that's a terrible, I don't want to speculate too much. That's not confirmed. That is a terrible match.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been seeing.
I don't think that's a title eliminator though. Like, I just don't think it is. Like, even if Umar beats Mario Bautista, he's going to need one more.
Yeah,
I think Umar would need one more. I think Umar would be fine next title shot if he beats Song Yadong, but against Mario Bautista, absolutely not.
Yan versus Song Yadong would be a very good fight as well.
We've already seen it,
in my opinion. But yeah, that is true. You can't recycle that. I don't know.
That was one of that was
oh my gosh, sorry, I just blanked on that. So. You know what? I'm calling it quits right here. I think Yan should get a title shot.
You know what? And you guys will get a sneak peek if we ever get Yan and Merab, but I've always said that the guy that's going to be Merab is going to be someone who's felt the cardio before, someone who's seen him. And I think
It's gonna be
Jan,
in a
with
rematch.
how good he is at adjusting, with how smart he is, with his skill set, I might just pick Jan to beat Merab. Like, I might do it. I'm not going to give you guys an official prediction just because the fight hasn't even been booked. We haven't even got Merab and Sandhagen. But if Jan and Merab does come to fruition at some point, I might pick Piotr Jan. And you'll hear it from me on July 27th, 2025.
Yep, 100%. A very good win for Piotr Jan against another surging contender. He did not get robbed this time. He made sure of that. But some who might think, there are some that might think this next fight, the main event, was a quote unquote robbery. And I know the term is thrown around a lot. I think this was personally one of the closest fights I have ever watched. I actually had no idea how to score it. However, Reiner de Ridder defeats Robert Whittaker by split decision in the main event of UFC Fight Night Abu Dhabi. Rob Whittaker still has it, man. Just because he lost this fight, and do not look at the rankings, the numbers next to their name, he still has it. And he will be a contender for however long he wants to fight for, in my opinion. It's very sad because I tweeted this out. I said, you know, RDR, obviously he's going right up the rankings, and I'll give you my prediction in 1 second, but I don't really want to think about Robert Whittaker as a gatekeeper. That is just like very depressing to me.
Yeah.
Don't say that, man. Don't say that.
I'm sorry. Well, you know what, Srikar? I said I'd let you go first. Take it away, man. I know this fight was hard for you.
Nah, man. Can I be excused from the episode, man? Like, I don't want to talk about this fight.
You're excused.
Yeah. Rob lost. It is what it is. I was very sad yesterday. Obviously, I'm a big Robert Whittaker fan. I knew RDR was gonna win. I thought I'd just get like the Band-Aid ripped off by Rob just getting finished by RDR. But he was so close, man. So
close.
Oh my god. The round three,
so close, it hurt.
Close.
Like,
that
it hurt
hit
even
round
more,
three
man.
was ridiculous. That gave me shades of Izzy Pereira too. When Rob
he
is just
almost finished him.
I know, when Rob is getting cornered and then he just lands that hook and RDR just falls to the ground. I was like, oh my god, it's happening again. This is amazing.
Yeah, that fight did very bad things for my emotions. Yeah. But in terms of next matchups, I for Robert Whittaker, I think he's gonna fight Brendan Allen. Whittaker. I do agree that I don't know if Whittaker's a gatekeeper. Like, he's still right on the edge of title contention. Like, Allen, obviously he's charging up the ranks. This is the classic like veteran versus, you know, up and comer matchmaking here. So I mean, let's see if Allen's ready for the big leagues. I don't know, but I don't like Brendan Allen, man. I don't like Brendan Allen. I love Robert Whittaker. If this matchup really did happen, then obviously you know where I'm going. But for RDR, middleweight just keeps getting weirder, man. And Reiner de Ridder, just the newest name to crash the party. With that win, he's now firmly in the top 5 conversation. So honestly, for what's next, how about Sean Strickland?
Yep,
at this point,
I agree.
Because at this point, the next guy to beat Strickland probably gets a title shot, unless it's Izzy. Unless it's Izzy again. RDR's got the ground game. Strickland's got the volume. He's got the durability. So it's kind of just who imposes their style on the other. Another one I was thinking of, if RDR wants to wait a little bit, I think if Dricus loses to Hamzat, I want to see RDR versus Dricus immediately. I think that fight just has to happen. And honestly, I think it'd be really good if they could set up like an overseas fight night in like Europe. Ideally in Amsterdam. If you can get RDR and Dricus in Amsterdam, I think that would be
insane.
Because Netherlands is very much overdue for a fight night. They've got a really, really good fan base over there in the Netherlands. Shout out to the Netherlands, anyone's watching from there. But yeah, RDR versus Strickland, Whittaker versus Allen is my picks. I really don't. I'm sorry, I don't really have much to break down. It's just kind of like I'm still in like kind of like
shock.
Sucks. Not in shock, but like just sad, man. It's just really sad.
watch. We both said that it was either going to be RDR by submission or Whittaker by decision. And at the end of the day, it went
RDR by decision, man. What?
This fight was even closer than we thought it was going to be, man.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
I think a great fight. Robert Whittaker, do not count him out. I think he is. So I will say, one, do not count Robert Whittaker out as one. But two, the way the UFC promoted that fight hinted to me that Robert Whittaker maybe has one fight left, and then he wants to be retired. It sounds like at the title.
No, don't do Srikar like that, bro.
I'm getting gut shot after liver.
I think you'll like
or RDR knee shots.
I'm giving Robert Whittaker a very favorable. I'm giving Robert Whittaker a very favorable match that I think would be a great retirement fight for a pay-per-view in Australia, or even that Perth card coming up. It's the loser of the fight between Jared Cannonier and Michael Venom Page. That's a very favorable fight for Robert Whittaker against another older fighter. So they could also.
He's already fought Cannonier, though.
Do it again. I don't really care, because Cannonier has fought a lot of the. If Cannonier wins, he's fought a lot of the people above him. I'm also matchmaking based on the fact, for everything, by the way, I'm matchmaking based on the fact that Sean Strickland is currently suspended, and I do not know when he's going to fight next. So I do not have anything for Sean Strickland.
The suspension won't be that long. It won't be it
won't be that long, but still, I still do have that. You never know. You never know. Some of these suspensions, they said indefinitely, so I'm kind of going off of that. But I think the loser of Cannonier Page, because Cannonier is also very old. He doesn't have much time left. You could honestly just stage it as they both retire after this fight. And maybe it doesn't have to be in Australia, but could be in Europe or someone like me in the middle, Abu Dhabi again. We've seen him a lot of that. But Reiner de Ridder, this is a true title contender right now. I think he's one fight away, and I think he fights the loser of this Duplessis and Khamzat Chimaev fight. I think whether Chimaev wins or loses, that would be a banger. Those are two of the best wrestlers in the middleweight division going up against each other. And don't get me wrong, Dricus is also a great wrestler too. So Dricus and Duplessis, de Ridder, so DDP, RDR, little fun game right there. Anyways, but I do think that I think RDR is one fight away, and I think this is the one right now, considering that Imavov and Kyle Barriault are scheduled for the next title eliminator. I think the one you do after that is the loser of this fight and RDR, the loser of the UFC 319 main event and RDR. And then the winner of that's right back into title contention. Because I think right now, Khamzat Chimaev's a damn good fighter, man. Dricus Duplessis is a damn good fighter. They're only going to need one more to get back in and fight whoever beats them. Or if Kyle or Imavov beats the person that beats them, they're only needed one more to get that title shot again. The only thing that would spoil it is if Dricus beats Chimaev and then loses to Kyle or Imavov, then I think Dricus would get another title shot immediately based on how many times he's defended it. So that's the only caveat. But besides that, I think he is one fight away. Give him the loser of Chimaev and Dricus.
Yeah, I mean, personally, if the suspension isn't that long for Sean Strickland, I think that RDR gets Sean Strickland. If it is longer than expected, as Sam said, it's indefinitely. I would agree with you, Sam. So I'm kind of agreeing with both of you guys. I'm a little bit undecided on that, but regardless, that one hurt. Don't worry, Srikar. I was hurting too. That felt like when Volk lost the split decision to Islam in Australia, man. That sucked. That sucked, man. Like, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it. I was like that. I was upset, and then he got knocked out right after. So then, oh my god, please don't do that, Rob. Please just fight a good fight. Fight someone who you can beat.
That's why I'm giving it. That's why I'm giving it a little bit more of a favorable matchup, because I think he. I mean, if the hints I'm getting are true that Robert Whittaker is on the way out, then give him a favorable matchup.
Yep, 100%. And regardless, RDR put up a great fight. He landed 192 total strikes.
You know what? Whoever wins next week's main event between Dolidze and Fluffy, that could also be a nice matchup for Whittaker, now that I think about it.
Oh, that would be so unfavorable, I feel like. I think those guys are on a tear. I won't spoil my prediction.
Dolidze, honestly, is a very favorable matchup for Rob.
I would say Dolidze is, but Fluffy I think would be. I think Fluffy would be.
It depends who wins. I have one guy in mind for both of them, but we'll see what happens.
Yes, regardless, I think it was a pretty good card overall. Would you guys say that?
Yeah, great fight night card. stacked top to bottom. Definitely a fun one to watch. I was engaged the whole time, so I loved it.
Yeah, it was a good fight night. I like
100%. So
Srikar does not think it was a good fight night. He's just hiding it.
I at least got Jan. I got my faith in Shara now. You know, I lost a lot of money, but that's besides the point. I saw Rob lose. You know, you get your pros and cons with everything. So
yeah.
100%. And yes, there might be a midweek episode this week. There are a lot of questions about this main event between Tyra and Albazi. There are some words that is being called off. So a new main event is potentially being put into the works. So if that gets announced soon, hopefully not before this video is posted, so you guys know that when this timeline is, we will hop on and, you know, debate it and talk about the new news in the UFC. So be sure, to stay tuned to our channels. They're all in the bottom right corner. They're right below Sam, right next to Srikar. On TikTok too, we're getting our reels out and everything. So yeah, we're just having fun with this, and we're glad that you guys are enjoying the content. So that'll do it from the MMA War Room for Srikar, Rajendran, and Sam Corcoran. I'm Chris Shroyer. Hope you guys have a great day.